Hey guys, Indy here. Late July 2020 update finally. He's about 10 to 11 weeks old now. 2-month appointment last week. Needing some daddy arm sleep. Everything else was really working. Um, Not a whole lot has changed since my last update, other than arrival, obviously. Do have a new job, but that it's not really RPG related. Other than it kind of changes my hours. I'm up a lot earlier, so some of my hours are better for to align with European Union time rather than EU time rather than American time, especially since I'm on the East Coast. When I'm getting up in the morning at 5 a.m., even on Saturday, it's, what, 1 a.m. We're on the West Coast or something? 1 a.m., 2 a.m. Um, so when I play, which will probably be online, that's really going to affect who, who I'm pulling players. Um, which is fine. It's the online world. There's a lot more availability, right? My current top priority is to actually make it through all 30 days of RPG a day. And I'm going to be making another effort to be short this year and more positive than I have been before. In the past I've treated them as just topics. I just talk about whatever, not so much the whole positive, share the love of the hobby, stuff like that. I guess, but I'm also a person who can take more critical conversations and not be turned off. But I'm going to try to keep things more positive this year and make it through all 30 or 31, 30, 31. As soon as I figure out a good time zone to play, what I would like to do is um, run my convention sessions for Rolemaster Unified online. Um, Listening to complex games apologists talk about like the myths of online play, I realized that um, getting a 4-hour time block may not be as common as saying a 2-hour time block. So instead of one sit down for a convention game, it might actually be sit downs per convention game. And while I am definitely looking to branch out of Rolemaster a bit more, um, this is so that I can step into the online world with something that I'm more familiar with, both in system and in uh, the session itself, right? So lower the number of things that I'm juggling all at once to that done. I would really like to get that done. I'd like to get that to happen. I think I said that last time on an update, which was March, but stuff, right? It hasn't happened yet. Um, if you are interested in playing in that, let me know. Just put in a comment or send me a message on Facebook or the RPGs that I've been designing are on pause. I was also working on a house rule idea for Rolemaster. One of the, I won't call it a weakness, but it is definitely one of those things that becomes more setting dependent, is that the magic systems are not very distinct from each other. The magic realms are not very distinct from each other. Um, if a deity, if you've got divine magic versus elemental magic versus psionics, basically the only thing that changes are your penalties. Everything is the rest is everything else is the same, and I find that to be kind of off. But that's because I'm thinking of divine magic as divine magic, right? Like if it's coming from a god, then wouldn't you think the penalties? It's going to be more than the penalties being different from casting something your own willpower or casting something elemental force-like, right? So I worked on a set of house rules. I'm done with the house rules except for picking out some of the specific numbers and working out some of the details. We're really just transferring information, like I referenced the way that the Rolemaster 2 spells are learned. I want to include that in the document in case someone doesn't come from Rolemaster 2. Maybe they just are coming into Rolemaster Unified, or they're from Rolemaster SS/FRP. So I want to include things like that. I want to include the page number references to the RMU books. So that's been something I've been particularly interested in getting done, because that way I can start using it in Rollmaster and start getting some ideas about how it's working. But rather than developing those other games, I'm more interested in getting some games going, both the ones that I'd be running and playing with others. I would like to do something like maybe use uh, AGE, the modern AGE, to run a zombie post-apocalypse. I think that might be fun and relatively easy. I know for me, one of the things I find difficult is to get my head into a setting. Maybe that's why I've done a lot of setting stuff that's either just generic fantasy uh, from my from other GMs, or it's my own setting, or whatever. That's difficulty of getting into a Serenity game, or what's that magician's name? Jim Butcher's books. Dang it. Somebody's gonna tell me in the comments. I'm forgetting the name right now. Dresden Files. All right, I remembered it. Dresden File game. I don't really know a lot of the stuff. And it feels really off from me. I might have searched. I might have made the effort to get in the game of Rollmaster earlier, but I kept looking at the tools. I did mention this in the last video, how I prefer to, if I'm going to do it online, like use computer stuff. And I had come down to like the decision that, look, Fantasy Grounds is not going to work for me. And Roll20 is not going to work for me. I'm going to have to put in too much work to either and or pay. So it's just not going to work for me. So I'm just going to run things with our own character sheets as Excel sheets or whatever on another window, and rolling dice and doing theater of the mind and just doing it through Google Chat, or if that, I guess it doesn't even exist anymore. Google Hangouts doesn't exist anymore. Probably Discord. But I just had the thought today. One of the things I do is, or I'm getting back into doing, since I stream, I have a chat bot, right? And the chatbot I have that I use is formerly called Ankbot, and right now belongs to, the official license-wise, belongs to Streamlabs. But they still haven't been, still aren't the ones writing it. The guy who originally wrote it as Ankbot, his handle is Ankhart, wrote it. Streamlabs has their own cloud bot, and they're writing that code, but it's different than Streamlabs chatbot. And one's a cloud bot, as is in the name. The Streamlabs chatbot one, formerly Ankbot, is a local instance run on your computer. It has the ability to use scripts that you can write. So you write Python scripts in Python. I've sold a couple commissioned scripts, and I've written a couple games. One I've never finished. The other one was just simply roulette. But I want to get back to finishing that, and I just realized today Streamlabs chatbot also interfaces with Discord. So I could write it there. I don't have to worry about licensing. I don't have to worry about paying anybody for anything. I can just write a character/combat manager, and I have commands, and then so get into our Discord. You make, I think the players would have to have Twitch handles. So that's a small additional requirement that probably wouldn't ordinarily be there, for an online game, so that you can then do the steps that you need to be able to use commands on the Discord server through the Streamlabs chatbot interface. Actually, the interface is through Discord, but running to the Streamlabs chatbot. And boom, you could just do it there, right? Like roll attacks, roll sneak skills. I could set the difficulties as a GM, whatever, right? So, that'd be pretty. I think that should be pretty easy. Question mark? It's back end stuff. It's entirely back end stuff, and that's where my programming skills lie. Is in background. I don't do user interfaces or anything like that. So, and I know the content. and the information is just numbers, strings, making character classes, stuff like that. That should be fairly easy. So right now my top priority is to finish the game that I decided to write for my wife when she started streaming 2 years ago. Get that done. It's been this close. It's a spiritual successor of Pazak from Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic, or a spiritual successor. It's inspired by. And have that working for my stream, and then I'm going to then the next programming idea will be working on this thing so I can include it in any games that I run for folks online. That's where I'm at right now. RPG Day videos coming in what 10, 11 days, 12 days. See you guys later.